Sunshine's Corner, being brought to you by Quint and Richie Studer. And a beautiful morning it is, ladies and gentlemen. Welcome into the hottest spot in town. You've stepped into Sunshine's Corner. And of course, as I do every single day, I invite you in to be a part of this fantastic conversation. And as you know, right here, this platform is designed to be your information network. When there's something you would like to find out about it, what do? You tune in every day at 9 o'clock. But we talk about those difficult conversations. And you know what? It is absolutely, you can be comfortable sharing that with me right here on the corner. And today it is not any different because we are going to be talking about preparedness. We are in the midst of the beginning, should I say, of hurricane season. And if you know, like I did, if you were out and about yesterday when you saw all that rain, you went and checked your forecast to see was there a storm out there. But we've got Florida Power in with us today, and we've got the one and only JT is going to be talking with us about some things that we should be ready for. Thank you so much, JT, for coming in to be a part of this fantastic show.
Well, thank you, Sunshine. I really appreciate the invitation. Looking forward to it.
Of course. And you know, we've shared so much even before we went on the air. It's like we've had the conversation going already.
Absolutely.
But you know what, JT? It's like even with yesterday, and what I want people to be to realize and always have this top of mind, to always be prepared, no matter what, just to be prepared.
Absolutely, and that's so important, Sunshine. I mean, that the message, if there was one thing that we want all our customers to be thoughtful about is preparation. And we say this at FPL, that if we're not responding to a storm, we're preparing for one. Every day we're doing one or the other, right? And so we prefer to be just preparing, rather than responding, but we do have to respond, not just in hurricane season. We, of course, some of y'all remember we had the snowstorm back in January, if you're here.
Yes.
A few months ago. And so, but we are always trying to make investments in our infrastructure so that it can be a resilient infrastructure, and customers who really deserve to have the quality of service that they need can have that. And that's why we do so much around making sure that our system is prepared and that our employees and our teams are prepared.
Absolutely.
And we want our customers to be prepared, to have a plan, to know what they're going to do, to be able to respond.
You know what, when you say this now, and I'll say this because even with myself at first, I said, oh really, we're going to talk to FPL. But people don't think that the power company is a person that you'd be talking to about a hurricane.
Right.
And the fact, even when you brought up that great big storm that I thought I'd never see in Florida, I mean, walk out my door, there's snow, 8 inches of snow outside. Yeah. But you say with the power company, you see that's called, I think that's that togetherness that we have to do.
Absolutely.
Even with all of the other entities here that work with storms, right?
That's right.
Now, when it comes to FPL, being prepared, what is the first thing you tell a person to do?
Well, number one, make a plan. For you and your family, it is so important to have a plan. What we don't know, and I've lived through, as many of our viewers I'm sure have, I've lived through a number of storms, and everyone is different. It's different in duration, it's different in intensity, it's different in direction. And so you really don't know exactly what's going to happen. Is it going to impact my home or not? It may not.
Right.
And so it could be everything from just losing power. It could be some damage to the home. Either way, we say to our customers, always have a plan.
Right.
First thing is think about what are you going to do if and when the power goes out or you have to evacuate. If you're in a low-lying area, be thoughtful ahead of time about needing to evacuate and where are you going to go. Make sure your family knows, make sure you're taking care of pets, elderly family members, people who can't care for themselves. Be on the lookout for them, speak to them ahead of time, and make sure you know and then say, if the storm if it's coming in and we know it's supposed to be, when the storm hits, that's the eye of the storm.
Exactly.
The storm impact comes way ahead of that.
You got that right.
So keep that in mind.
And you know what I also learned, because, even though I'm from Alabama, we did not have a whole lot of hurricanes. We got the after effect.
Yes.
We would get a little rain, a little wind, but never this. But what I realized also is when you preparing, just when you're thinking about when you talked about the eye of the storm, on the east side of it, if you're on the east side, that's the dangerous part.
It's a tough side, yeah. Tough side typically is that northeast side primarily. And again, it's going to always depend on the direction, but certainly you're correct. It's usually most of the time the worst part of it is on that side. It's
absolutely.
Tough. Yeah.
That blew me away because I tell you, when I first experienced the storm, I said, what have I done?
Yeah.
Why did I come here?
We needed you here, so that's why you're here.
And it was like, oh my God. But the fact of it is, when you say know your zone, and there's so many ways that you can log on to the websites and find out all these areas so you know your zone.
That's right. It's important to do that, and you can go to fpl.com/storm, and you can get a lot of information on how to be prepared for the storm, what to do, and how to make sure. One of the things we say to customers as well is if you do lose power, and if you do plan to use like a generator, make sure you do so safely. Make sure you pay attention to the maintenance and the instructions on how to operate that. Never do it in an enclosed space. Make sure it's outside, and make sure you only plug in devices directly to it. Don't try to wire it into your power box or things like that. Make sure you're using it as designed. That's so important for safety reasons.
You know, I'm afraid of that. You know, the reason why I have not purchased one? Because I'm afraid of it. I mean, and I believe if you're afraid of something, don't do it.
Okay, I can appreciate that.
You know what I'm saying? And I hear and I see, I mean, I think I saw one that's, you can buy this thing that they'll plug it on the outside of your house. Sure. It looks like I think that's the route I'm gonna go. Okay. But when I see these others that's portable, I am so fearful of that. Yeah. And I'll say that to anybody. If you're one of those like I, and you're fearful of certain things, then don't do that. I think that's when accidents can happen. Oh,
all the time. And so what we make sure each of those units will come with instructions. And I tell, it's important for people to follow those instructions to the letter. Get the fuel ahead of time. Make sure that you're not, waiting until the storm's about to hit to try to, if it, depending on how they're fueled. So those are the kinds of things. Again, preparedness is really, really important.
Absolutely. Well, when you say things like that, the things that we sometimes forget, what would you often tell people about the things that you forget in the difference when you're preparing for a storm, these little things?
Yeah, so there are a lot of little things that we don't often think about, but making sure your batteries, if you got flashlights and things like that, making sure that you have batteries that you haven't had around for years. Make sure they're fresh and they're ready to go. Make sure you have that. Make sure that your phone chargers, if you have it'd be great to have like a separate portable charger as well. Make sure that portable charger is charged up, as well as making sure your phone is fully charged up. People will, hopefully you'll be able to still communicate to some degree and use that phone for that. It's just important to make sure that those things, again, like I said, making sure you know what you're going to do with your family, where they're going to go, how you're going to communicate with your family. What if the phone doesn't work? Do you have a backup two-way radio or something like that? Because there's sometimes that families get separated. Someone may go to a evacuation zone facility, shelter. And you may not be there, and you want to check on them. So think about those kinds of things ahead of time.
And think about when you talk about with FPL, I think this is great because I'm going to a level now that I would not have thought that the power company would do. When you see, I want to show people how, because I made this mistake one time. I always use myself, I just tell the truth, what I learned.
Amen, that's great.
When you're out there and you see all those power lines down, don't do like I did what I thought. I said, let me drive around this way. I said, I'm going to go. Thank God it didn't happen. But that's dangerous.
Yes, it is. It's so important.
Is that thunder I hear?
No, that was not thunder. Oh. I don't think. If so, we're inside. So
okay.
We're good.
I didn't mean to hit you, but I thought that was
right.
thunder.
We're good. We're good.
But it's the fact of those kind of things like that. How would you tell people if they don't know their zone, if they don't know if they live in a high zone or that? I see that there's a place that you
is
can.
Thunder.
It's on there.
Yeah.
That you can tell you put your address in.
So here's the deal. I think you can go to the Escambia County Emergency Management site or the Emergency Management website for your county, your community. And see where the evacuation zones are. Put in your address and find out, are you in zones A, B, C? When evacuations begin, typically they do that. They'll say, what zones are now being asked to evacuate. And they are different in different counties. Different counties have different requirements. And so it's important, depending on where you live, to make sure that you're following the guidelines and the guidance of emergency management officials in your community. Make sure you're adhering to what they're telling you to do. Because oftentimes, as we know from hurricanes, water is generally the biggest danger when it comes to storms, because the surge, and if you're in a low-lying area, that certainly can be where the challenge is. And so pay attention to where you are, evacuation zone you're in. If that call comes out for you to evacuate, my recommendation is do what they're telling you to do, and do it early enough so that you will have time to be able to get where you need to go. Try not to wait until the last minute.
I think about the elderly. There's some people, there are some that they still have their independence.
That's right.
They're in their homes.
Yes.
And, oh, I'm gonna stay in my house, baby. I'm not going anywhere, baby. You know, I mean,
right.
But we want to encourage, if there's a neighbor, if that's your parents.
That's right.
To make sure. What would you say to those who got their parents? You know how parents are. They don't want to leave their home.
I really do. We just lost our mother a couple of months ago. She was 99. And,
beautiful.
And so my sister was living with her. So I can certainly understand, and it's important when you have senior or elderly neighbors and friends, family members, to implore them to make sure that you're concerned about their safety, make sure that they understand that you love them and that you want the best for them. And because what the real challenge is after the fact.
Oh, come on.
It's very difficult to maybe get to them.
That's what I'm
certainly
talking about.
Difficult to get them out. And so ahead of time, helping them to understand and having a safe place ahead of time for them to go, and making sure that you communicate with them directly that you want to make sure that they get there in advance. And look, at the end of the day, if it's not needed, it's not needed. But
right.
you know, it's better to be prepared and be in a place that's safe and not have to be there than to need to be there and can't get there.
Right.
You know, so that's so important.
Even with the heat, how it is now. I mean, I'm so sold on helping those who are yet in their homes, and I understand because my parents, before they transitioned, we couldn't get them out the house.
Yeah.
I mean, but that's where they wanted to be.
That's exactly right. I understand.
That's where they wanted to be in that house, and because believe it or not, both of them transitioned from the house. They would not go to anywhere. No, leave me here.
That was right.
And I understand that, but when it's like that, even when the power's down, the procedure that a person can get help to their home. Let's say not even a storm. If my power's out, been out for several hours, what would they do? Well,
so first of all, I encourage all our customers to sign up for the FPL app, go online and get the FPL app. And so important to do that, because from the app, you can do a number of things. You can report an outage, you can check the status of an outage, you can do a lot of things for your home. So that's really important to do. And as I mentioned earlier, if there is a storm and you're interested in what's going on and how to prepare, go to fpl.com/storm, and you can get a lot of information about that. We may know that you're out, we may not know that you're out. And so it's important to let us know if your power is out. We will certainly make sure, and our process is certainly, first of all, let's take in a storm situation, I'll talk about that for a minute. When there's been a major storm, we have a restoration process. And that process is to make sure that all of our critical facilities that we would consider, like 911 centers, hospitals, fire, police, all those critical emergency facilities are restored, and we want to make sure they're restored. And even in advance of that, we make sure that all of our generation facilities and the lines to get power out of those facilities are up and running, because we want to make sure that the source of power to people is, in some cases, we had problems back during Ivan where we had challenges at one of our plants, and so we want to make sure that's up and running. But in parallel to that, we do work with our emergency facilities and make sure that they're up and running as well.
No, I just want to ask, when you said that the plant, so when Ivan hit, it took the plant out?
We have facilities at our generating plant that had challenges during Ivan, and of course that was over 20 years ago. But those things can happen. You never really know what's going to happen, and it took us a while to get things back up and running from that generating facility. The good news for our customers is that we're part of a network, and the great news is that we can typically rely on surrounding utilities. We help each other out. But you just don't know. You just don't know when it comes to that. So when we do that restoration after a storm, and we make sure all those critical facilities are up and running, we are certainly going to be focused on the lines that get power out to our communities. And those lines are usually, not always, but usually along main thoroughfares. And so we're out there making sure those are up and running. And we try to make sure, as we prioritize the restoration, that we're exerting the appropriate effort to get as many customers back safely and as quickly as possible. And so we do that with a process. We oftentimes have to call on neighboring utilities to assist us, and we plan for that ahead of time. We just went through last month, we just went through a mock storm drill for a week, where we simulated a hurricane striking our area, and we went through all of the things that we would have to do.
Really?
Yes, and including calling on additional resources. Just like we would go and help others, we look to get others to come in, and we have a process that we use for that to get folks in to help with that. And so again, it is a coordinated process. We are continuously learning making sure that we're doing things in better ways each time.
Exactly.
Yeah, so we're trying to make sure we do that. So that's that process we use after a major storm. Yeah, major storm. Now, if a customer has an outage, just a single outage, or it's a smaller outage, of course, we have folks, and we will work 24/7 during a storm, but we always have folks available when there's an outage in your neighborhood, at your home. We always have folks available, crews available to come out. Weekends, nights, it doesn't matter. We always have someone available to come out and make sure that we get power restored as soon as possible.
Absolutely. Ladies and gentlemen, we're talking with JT, and as you can see, he's not breaking a sweat. He's telling you all the things that you need to know when it comes to being prepared. And the word, you know, what your word for today? Prepare. Be prepared, because you never know if and when a storm is going to come our way. We're going to talk with JT more about FPL and the things that are coming up, so you stay close. And if you would like to be a part of the conversation, I encourage you to do so by calling 850-432-7768. You can call or text and talk as well right here on Sunshine's Corner.
Good day, Pensacola. Welcome to a new segment on health and wellness sponsored by Baptist Healthcare in partnership with Sunshine's Corner. Every first Wednesday of the month during Sunshine's telecast, we're going to be bringing you information about health and wellness and ways to make sure we're improving the quality of your health care here in Pensacola. After all, we want to ensure that you're going to the right place at the right time and for the right reason, and that you don't feel alone. Can't wait to see you.
From the efficiency of American natural gas and the dependability of nuclear power, to the strength of Florida's sunshine and the flexibility of advanced battery storage systems, we leverage a diverse mix of energy sources to power our growing state, ensuring reliable, low-cost power for your home or business whenever you need it. FPL, working for you every single day.
Many who consider facial plastic surgery are concerned their results will look unnatural. But with over 20 years of serving the Pensacola community, his thousands of satisfied patients have made Dr. Derek Jones a trusted reconstructive and facial plastic surgeon known for industry-leading results that look natural. Call 850-484-FACE to schedule a consultation at one of our locations in Pensacola and Gulf Breeze.
I'm Dr. Derek Jones. Trust your face to a facial plastic surgeon.
At Pensacola Habitat for Humanity, we believe every child should have a safe place to grow. That's why we work with you and the community to build not just a house, but a home.
She worked very hard to get this house. I really appreciate that because, if it wasn't for her, I wouldn't be here right now.
When you help build a home, you build a future. Pensacola Habitat for Humanity.
And welcome back to Sunshine's Corner on this Tuesday edition. It's cloudy on the outside, but get this, you don't have to fret. You've got all the sunshine you'll need right here, and you've locked into the right space. Well, listen, we were talking about JT with the elders. Are there any type special programs that FPL offer to help and to, when we were talking about the seniors that get the app, some seniors go, what?
Yeah, what app?
What are you talking about, baby?
Yeah, we do. One of the things that we do, in fact, we're going to be doing this here in the next week or two, we go out to various facilities, nursing homes and others, and we do hurricane meal prep kits, and we provide those to
Who does that?
Seniors. We do, FPL. We do that all over the state, and we certainly do it here in Northwest Florida as well. And we go out and we provide a 3-day kit of meals so that seniors who maybe during a storm, who knows what may happen, they may have the food insecurity may be such that they can't get, so we try to make sure that we provide that. And in addition to that, we provide them with information on what they need to be thinking about doing so that they can be prepared and aware of how to handle situations during storm season. So we try to do that relatively early in the storm season so that they can have that throughout the duration of the storm season as well.
I did not know that you did.
Yes, that's one of the things that we've been trying to do to make sure that we are inclusive about. And one of the things we do, we deliver electricity, but we're also here to support strong communities, and we want to make sure that the aspects of our community that's so important, and I grew up in this community, so I have a vested interest.
Exactly.
And I want to make sure, we as a company, we want to make sure that all the communities that we serve are strengthened and are strong, and everyone in that community contributes to that. And so we want to be inclusive as we go about making sure that our communities are strong, and that's just one of the ways that we try to do that.
Oh, wow, that put a smile on my face, because I did not realize that.
Oh, great.
But I thought about back when the Ivy hit.
Yes.
I mean, everywhere you go, what was those things called? MREs?
Yeah, MREs, meals ready to eat.
I fell in love with that stuff, and it was good. When I couldn't get to the store.
Absolutely.
But you see, ladies and gentlemen, we're talking about, FPL. There are more ways than they deliver to be a part and to make sure that our community is up to par than just providing you with your power. I mean, I'm finding out things that they are really an outreach to help with all of their customers to make sure that they're safe, that they are knowledgeable, that they are not hungry. I mean, everything in the daily life that you would not think that would come from FPL is there.
So storms, if you've lived through storms, Sunshine, you know this, but storms can be very devastating, and they can cause a lot of disarray.
Yes.
Not just physically in the damage, but just emotionally. It's a lot of things to consider. When we had when Ivan came through back in 2004, we had damage at our home, and we had to be out of our home for several months. And that creates, and at the time our children were younger, and that creates all kind of havoc.
Yes, it does.
And so again, back to the importance of preparation to try to minimize that impact of that, because you don't know what can happen. Being prepared really helps with that. And we always tell folks, no electric grid is 100% hurricane proof, but we're out there every day trying to prepare. We're putting in steel poles and concrete poles, and trying to go underground where we can. We're trying to harden our system, which means that we're making it a little more resilient, if you will, to weather impacts. But no electric system is 100% storm proof. Of course not. And customers, we want customers to be aware that while we're doing all we can do, we can't control what the impacts will be, overall. That's right. But I think it's important for customers to know that is our focus, and we're making sure reliability is a critical part of our mission. In fact, it's the bedrock, because our customers are so important to us, and we know that our customers want to have and deserve to have reliable electricity, because it's not just electricity that we deliver. We deliver, hope and health and entertainment, comfort. We deliver a lot of things through that, production, productivity. So we want our customers to be able to access that as they need to. That
is absolutely amazing. And when I say this, and I want to flip this around, I saw a commercial back, it's been a while, but there was a commercial that was on, and there was a local person that was on that commercial that you were educating people how even setting the thermostat. And I thought that was so cute, and his name was Hassan, I believe. Okay. That was on that. I said, he's on that commercial. Yeah. But it was good because people did not know how to set it. Let's switch it a little bit. Okay. To talk about how people can get educated, or FPL provide people to come out to even educate you on ways that you can even save in your home.
Absolutely, it's so important. We have teams of folks that will come out to your home, and you and I were just talking about an experience you had earlier. But we have folks that will come out to your home, and we'll do what we call an audit or an assessment, if you will, of what's going on in your home. Because one of the things about energy usage and saving on your bill, it's important to understand that usage is the really critical factor in the bill amount, right? So it's the amount that the more you use, the higher the bill will be. And so we have a website, fpl.com/ways to save. fpl.com/ways to save is a great resource for our customers to be able to go out and learn about things that they can do to save energy. And to your point, we want to make sure that when customers, at this time of year, it's hot. And so we're thinking about air conditioning, right? Well, air conditioning is probably the single largest contributor during the summer months to the electric bill. Right. And so we remind customers, set your thermostat where you're comfortable, but remember that between 75 and 78 degrees, if you're setting there, every degree above 75, you save about 3 to 5% on your cooling costs. And so there's savings there. We also encourage our customers, when you can, recognize that, especially on a sunny day, Blinds and curtains can help keep a room cooler. Your air conditioner would have to work less, so make sure that you're thinking about that. And a water heater, if you have an electric water heater, we recommend that you try to set that water heater on 120 degrees if you can, because again, that's probably right behind air conditioning. Your water heater is probably, if it's electric, is the second largest consumer in your home. And so we want customers to remember that as well. And ceiling fans, we think about ceiling fans, right? So ceiling fans are designed to cool people, not rooms. And sometimes we just leave them going, right? And they just run and run.
Guilty.
And they run and run. And so we encourage, when you leave the room, flip it off, if you can remember to do that, unless you're coming right back in, I get it. So there are a lot of little tips like that and beyond. We do a number of events in the community that we call community energy saver events.
Okay.
And we do that throughout the community all the time, and we go out and we will educate our customers that come into those events, but we'll also go out into the homes and provide things like fluorescent bulbs. We'll do some weather stripping, minor kind of things like that. Low flow shower heads, we have folks that'll come out and do that in certain areas.
Okay, hold up. When you say weather stripping, low flow
shower heads.
Yeah.
Mm-hmm.
Okay, take me a little bit deeper.
Yeah, so what we find oftentimes, back to the point I made earlier about usage being
I'm getting educated, my friend.
The number one contributor to your bill. Oftentimes that's because you've got your home or facility is losing either the cooling or what you're trying to maintain, right? Weather stripping can help maintain a comfortable temperature inside your home. Low flow shower heads can help you reduce the amount of hot water you're using. So there are things like that. And of course, LED light bulbs certainly use less energy. And so we want to make sure that customers, those kinds of things may seem small, but they can certainly help. And we want to make sure that we're doing what we can to help our customers in that regard.
Unbelievable. I mean, please, if you've got a question, because it may be, I'm getting so educated today. My mouth is like, oh, duh. But the fact that it is, if you've got questions, here's the opportunity that you can find that for yourself in ways that's going to be beneficial to you. He's so easy to talk to. He comes right out with the answer. Because I'll be honest, at first, people, oh, my bill just went up so high. Oh, why is my bill so high? Everybody was just angry.
Sure.
But the fact of it is, knowledge is power.
That's right. Absolutely.
Knowledge is power. Now, once you receive this knowledge that we're sharing today, you will see some areas that you can go in to reevaluate to get yours lessened as well. Absolutely. Like, for instance, I'm guilty with the ceiling thing. Mm-hmm. I would do this. I shared this with Sarah. She laughed. When I'd go home in the afternoons, I would hit that ceiling fan in every room. I put them on. Didn't realize if I'm not standing under, it's not doing any good.
Right.
But it was constantly turning all day.
Yeah. It's easy to do. Because they're quiet. You don't think about them. You move on. I tell you, Sonshine, another thing real quick I'll mention, because we're getting into the summer months now, bill spikes can be really incredible for people to be able to deal with, because maybe you had a relatively low bill and then the next bill is way up here and you're trying to figure out how to budget. We offer a program called budget billing. Yep. And if you have not signed up for that, I would encourage our customers to do that. Again, you can do all of that through the app. You can do that online. But I will tell you, I'm on it.
I am as well.
And the predictability is very helpful, because if there's one thing you can do, you can then kind of know within a few dollars. It's not always the exact same, but within a few dollars, you can know what to expect on that next bill.
I agree.
So I would encourage customers to certainly sign up for that.
And if you've ever listened anything from me, do it. If you have not signed up, do it, because I do.
That's right.
And I've learned how to read it now. And even there is when your bill is, when you receive it, if you go online, it'll tell you where you spike.
That's right.
And it'll tell you and it'll give you an approximate of what your bill is going to be.
Right. So you can plan ahead. And know what to do. So those are other tools that I think are helpful for our customers.
Believe me, they're helpful. If you're like me and you like to budget, you always live on budget, and take advantage of that. And then don't just, sometimes I think we can cause ourselves to get upset about things that we just don't know.
Exactly. It's easy to do.
It's so easy to do that.
Yeah.
Because if not, and then what I also like about FPL, even if when I've signed up for all those things, right?
Good.
If you realize, like with myself, go to auto pay.
That's exactly right. That's a helpful tool as well.
If you can do auto pay.
Yeah, if you can do that. Budget billing and auto pay makes it so much easier if you're able to do that. That's a great a great way to make sure, number one, you're not going to be delinquent because you're going to, the bill's going to be paid on time. But also you'll get a chance to understand and have that relatively levelized amount that you will pay every month, so that for budget purposes you can then allocate other dollars where you need to, and you don't have to worry about, well, maybe in July it's going to go way up or January. So
exactly. And ladies and gentlemen, I know, please ask the question that you would like to ask today. 850-432-7768, that's the number. And I just want you to be as elated as I, because I'm still learning even more with things that I thought I knew, that I could go back and recheck myself to make sure that I have it right.
Yeah.
And I tell you, every day I learn something new. That's the power in knowledge. Keep it here. We're going to talk more with JT with FPL on Sunshine's Corner.
You finally found the perfect car in racing blue. You even got them to throw in the LED fog lights for free. Auto Owners insures your car because some people never learn to parallel park. That's simple human sense.
Ask the Messick Insurance Agency in Pensacola if Auto Owners make sense for you.
Keep going, more. No, stop!
Come see us at Royal Appliance Outlet. We have refrigerators, washers and dryers, stoves, beautiful furniture from all of your name brands that you know and trust. Samsung, Whirlpool, Frigidaire, and GE, all at discount prices. Come visit us today at 1612 Face Boulevard. You're gonna love our easy credit to help you bring all of your favorite furniture home. Come visit Royal Appliance Outlet.
It's baseball season. From heart-stopping plays to legendary victories, this is baseball at its finest. Grab your seat, bring your energy, and witness greatness live. Don't just watch it, feel it. The Pensacola Blue Wahoos are back, and you can watch Pensacola Blue Wahoos home games live on Fridays and Saturdays, only on Blab TV. Love the Blue Wahoos but can't watch? Get your tickets now.
The Emerald Coast Utilities Authority's state-of-the-art materials recycling facility processes recyclables for communities throughout the region, lowering need for more landfills. This highly efficient recycling service accepts glass, paper, cardboard, plastics, aluminum, and more. But we need your help. Please make sure your recyclables are clean of garbage, food, and liquids. Also, please remember that plastic shopping bags, foam products, or yard waste are not recyclable. To learn more, go to livegreenecua.com.
And welcome back to Sunshine's Corner on this Tuesday. A little rumble in the sky on the outside. It's thundering, but that's okay. But you know what? We're teaching you things now to educate you on what to do just in case of a thunderstorm.
That's right.
Because a thunderstorm can be just as, I mean, for some people.
Absolutely.
As not just a hurricane.
That's right.
All of these things that we are talking are not just for a hurricane.
Right.
It is for everyday life to be prepared.
Living in Florida is, we know that there are going to be days like today, where you're going to have either mostly afternoon type thunderstorms or even thunderstorms during the day. We had a few weeks ago a situation, remember, on the beach where we had some bad storms come through, and so those are things that can happen. And if you're impacted, it doesn't matter if it's a hurricane or not. If you're impacted, it affects you and your family.
Exactly.
And that's back to the point about some of these preparation things that we talked about for hurricanes. Probably would not be a bad idea just to have in place in general, just because you never really know what's going to happen, and you need to be prepared, need to be knowledgeable, need to know how to get information. Most people, when they lose power, want to know, how do I get it? When's it coming back? When's it coming back on? And those tools that we talked about earlier can really be helpful. Yeah, very helpful in staying aware of what's going on.
Exactly. Yeah. And ladies and gentlemen, I cannot reiterate this more so any strongly because of the fact, when I think about the power company, I'm not thinking about the things that we're talking about today. When you say power, all you're thinking about is your power.
Exactly.
But I'm seeing that FPL is really in the community, doing a lot. This past weekend, Touch a Truck.
Yes, we had a great turnout on Saturday. First ever time that we've done a Hurricane Expo before, where we brought together our community partners and talked about how we do restoration and all of that. But for the very first time, we invited the entire community to come out to the Bayfront office, and we had out in the outside area, we had what we called a Touch a Truck Hurricane Expo. So we had people bring their families, bring out children. We had games, things for the children, face painting and all that. And we wanted to educate the community, not just with what we do, but all the community partners, emergency management, sheriff's departments for both Santa Rosa and Escambia County, Pensacola Police Department.
Yes.
We had American Red Cross out there, other entities out there to talk about, we had Search and Rescue, Escambia Search and Rescue came out to talk about what they do in the event, in the aftermath of a storm, and to give out information on, they had the mobile command center, we had the FPL mobile command center there, emergency management for Escambia County had their mobile command unit there so folks could go through it and tour it and see what it was like, and to understand how this all works, because the thing I wanted to share with the community too, I wanted these children to know that that there are a lot of folks out there helping to make this community a safe place after a storm.
Tell me about it.
And we had, during Ivan, our youngest son was in middle school, and I remember him saying, "Hey Dad, we're gonna be okay." And children, you know, need to feel safe. And by having all of those partners out there, and for these children to be able to go out and about and walk around and meet these people and hear what they're going to be doing and how we're going to be doing things to restore power, but also how our partners are out there making the streets safe, making sure that that the trees are out of the way, making sure things are done so that this community can get back to what it needs to do. I think for our young people, for children in our community, that's a real big deal, and that helps families to feel secure
Most certainly.
as well. Yeah.
You know, and I think about this, when you educate a child is so, just a sponge.
Absolutely.
They just want to absorb and just keep it going. You know, and then the fact that they can get there with all the first responders say, oh, I'm talking to this person, I had this opportunity, but they are really absorbing all that information. So when and if, well, I think like this on the Gulf Coast, and not if, when a storm comes.
Right. When. It's a matter of when.
It's a matter of when. When it comes, it's going to come.
Well, and you know, we let, you know, the children were able to get up in the trucks, like the fire trucks over there.
Oh, did they really?
Oh, yeah, they could get up in the fire trucks. They were able to get into the police unit vehicles. They had the lights flashing and all that. And I just, again, I go back to the fact that transparency is so important. And I think when you see that young people and families can come out and there's transparency about how we do what we do, that way when they see the fire truck going down the road, or they see the police car going down the road, they have a better understanding. Like, hey, we're here to help people, and this is so important, especially when it comes to our particular storm situations.
No doubt. And you know what? Also, that puts a pin on JT. When you allow the community, family, to be a part of, and when you feel as if you are a part of,
absolutely. Engaged.
There's a difference.
Engaged, yeah.
I mean, it's so different.
Yeah.
I mean, I'm talking from the kids to mom and dad, but the fact that what you thought, now you see the full picture.
Yeah, and that's exactly your point, Sunshine, is exactly why we wanted to do what we did on Saturday, is because we wanted to find an inclusive way to help our community understand more than just hearing about it, you know, or even seeing it. This was a literal touch and feel. We had our line crews were out there, and they had a pole set, and they actually allowed the children to come up, adults too if they wanted to, but they allowed the children to come up and physically hold the stick that they used to flip to reinstall fuses on the lines, and they had a low, you know, set up there so they could do that. They could actually physically do it, and again, all of those things sort of take some of the wonder out of it, and it makes people understand now it's not just a black hole. I now see. And when I see the trucks out there doing things, hey, I know why they're there. They're there to help people. And so it was really a great turnout. Had hundreds of people show up, and really got some great comments and feedback from the community on that event.
So next year's going to be another one.
Well, we hope to make it better next time, and bigger and better. But again, this was our first time doing it like that. And but we got so much good feedback. I certainly look forward to us doing it again.
Well, look, you can say this. You've got Sunshine. I'm your partner all the way.
Thank you very much.
So that we can make sure, because I love to educate the community on any and everything that's needed to cause us to become better. And I believe that, I'll say it again, once you learn something and you apply it, then I can see a child when they're out there with that pole thing you said. Can you imagine their friends that weren't there?
That's right.
What they were telling them?
They can tell them what they did, and that's a great, and kids are always looking, it's summertime, so you're looking for things to do, and I think, I know if I had been exposed to that, that would have been great for me, because that, to your point, the curiosity that's naturally there can sort of be addressed in events like that. And I think I learn best by doing, and I think that was what that whole point was.
Exactly. And you know, when you want, that's only going to cause you to be better.
That's right.
Every day is better. You're working to get more closely with the community, and that's the point. Because I believe strongly that collectively, when we work together, there's nothing we can't do.
It's a beautiful thing about Sonshine, this community is, again, I'm a native and I grew up in this community, and I tell people this all the time, and I've lived elsewhere, but I'm glad and grateful, blessed to be back home. But I will tell you, there's some unique things about this community. We're not perfect. We don't solve every problem perfectly as a community, but this community, I've learned in growing up here and living here most of my life, is a community that looks to find ways to work together.
Exactly.
Now, it's not perfect, but I've always loved, I've lived in other places where that wasn't the case.
I know the feeling I have as.
I know what that's like, and it's just been a blessing to see that things like we did Saturday and other things that happen here are done with a spirit of harmony as a general rule, and we look forward to seeing more of that.
Exactly. And then when you work together, I think that when all of us are on the same page, and you see that it's only to better.
That's right.
Then therefore, I think that will only cause it to elevate.
Right.
And as we all evolve.
Yeah, and the community events, what FPL tries to do, we are working diligently, and we do this again all over the areas that we serve throughout the state, but we're always trying to make sure that we're strengthening. We say, you know, strengthening our communities to make it a great place for folks to live and work and raise a family and really thrive as people. We know that takes more than just delivering electricity down a power line. We know that takes so much more than that. And so we have a commitment to make sure that we find ways to stay engaged, to really try to help lift the community to be better tomorrow than it is today, and certainly better than it was yesterday.
Absolutely. And I can just see it. I'm sitting here and I'm looking at you and how the delivery of what you're saying is coming across is from within, because there's a true care. You can tell from a person if it's just talk.
Yes.
I mean, but it's a genuine care there that through FPL, how that you're finding ways to deliver you with the best power source.
Absolutely.
But also teaching you the ways to tap into other entities through that power source that's going to better us all as a community.
Yeah, absolutely. And so that's so important.
Yes, it is.
And we want to make sure that we continue to deliver reliable energy. One of the things we talk about our value proposition is making sure that we're delivering energy reliably, and that we have a diverse set of resources, meaning that we have very diverse fuel types in our generation, that we're doing that from various positions and various sources.
Right.
And also wanting to make sure that we keep bills as low as possible. That's why we focus so much on ways to save, going out to that website, fpl.com/ways to save, because we know that there are challenges oftentimes with that. We have folks that are available to help.
Right.
And we want to make sure that we do all we can, as best we can, to educate our customers to know that it's important to have reliability, it's important to have diversity in our fuel sources, and it's also important to keep our bills as low as possible. Those ingredients really go to helping the community be stronger, so that we can have a vibrant community, which is what we all want to see.
Absolutely, without a question.
And again, we know we're not perfect. We know that we've had challenges in the transition. I spent 29 years with Gulf Power. I know I was 29 years with Gulf Power, and then I moved away and came back after about 4.5 years. But I know we had some challenges in the transition, and we are working every day to make things better. And that's the point I want folks to understand. It's not that we are yet perfect, but we are certainly striving for that and working towards making things better for all the customers that we serve.
You hit something there that I think that I want you to say that again, because of doing this transition, it's like you were saying, that FPL is making things even better from the transition of Gulf Power to FPL, because I'm out in the community all the time, and I hear what people are saying.
It's no secret, right? And I think about this, you know, having spent 3 decades, if you will, with Gulf Power, great company. We did a lot of great things, but I tell people now, we're a part of a company now that serves almost 70% of the state of Florida.
Wow.
Receives power from FPL. So we have, we serve roughly 6 million customers, about 12 million people roughly across the state. So now the folks in Northwest Florida are a part of a much larger entity that has additional resources for investments to make sure that we are doing things to make things even better than we could have done before. And that's the message there. We're trying to get there, trying to make it better. And we're overjoyed, really, and blessed and honored to be able to serve this community. So we're looking forward to keeping that going. Absolutely. This is our 100th year anniversary.
Oh, really? Well, happy anniversary.
100 years. And so we're looking forward to continuing for another 100 years, making it better for the customers we serve.
And ladies and gentlemen, don't be afraid if you see something that you don't understand. I got to go back because that's what I shared with you that keep resonating over and over in my mind when I thought it was just a power going up, right? And really it was on me.
Yeah, very important.
And very important that you take those steps.
Take those steps to be educated. And one last thing I'll mention, just back to the storm thing real quick. If you are out and about after a storm, we say this to our customers all the time, remember how important it is to stay safe. If you see down power lines, if you see facilities that are typically up on a pole but they're on the ground, please don't go near those. Don't drive your car across power lines. Try to stay away from those power lines. Contact 911, let them know that you see that where it is. We are working diligently. We will be working diligently to get to those facilities to make that area safe. But by all means, treat every line as if it's energized. Don't touch them. Don't play with them. Don't drive. Try to just remember that. That's important. Just remember. I know. Yeah. Just remember. That's important. That's important. Stay away from power
Thank God I didn't get close.
Treat them as live wires.
Absolutely. Yeah. I won't tell what I did on that one.
I know.
But ladies and gentlemen, we are touching everything that needs to be talked about today, only to bring us closer in understanding everything that FPL does is not just one way. You can also find out ways yourself right here. 850-432-7768, Sunshine's Corner. Come on back with us. That's good.
I'm Emily Echeverria, Marketing Communications Director for Council on Aging of West Florida and the host of Coming of Age. Watch our show to find out what we're doing for our seniors and their families, and hear from area experts and local business owners about their programs and services. Want to help? Find out how you can work with us to bring a better future to our seniors. Watch Coming of Age, 3:30 p.m. Wednesdays, only on Blab TV.
From the efficiency of American natural gas and the dependability of nuclear power, to the strength of Florida's sunshine and the flexibility of advanced battery storage systems, we leverage a diverse mix of energy sources to power our growing state, ensuring reliable, low-cost power for your home or business whenever you need it. FPL, working for you every single day.
Empire Truck Sales, located at 2255 West Detroit Boulevard in Pensacola, is your Freightliner, Western Star, Detroit Diesel, and Cummins dealer for Northwest Florida. Open 7 days a week, Monday through Friday, 6 a.m. to 10 p.m., Saturdays and Sundays, 6 a.m. to 6 p.m., providing sales, service, and parts. Empire Truck Sales is also your Oasis dealer for Freightliner custom chassis RV and motorhome repairs. Running I-10 will get you in.
Well, I think it's all about local, and I'm a big believer in local. So I think anytime you can carry a message out locally, it's important. And I think it's anytime the person that delivers the service can also deliver the message, which is unusual. You have the people that actually deliver the project doing the talking, and I think that's a huge difference, and really makes a huge value difference for the consumer. So I'm really just so grateful that we have this local opportunity with Blab TV. My name is Quince Theater, and I am Blab TV.
And welcome back to this Tuesday edition of Sunshine's Corner. We're having a great conversation with JT from FPL. I don't know about you, but I have learned a lot today. because I believe if you open up your mind, there's so many things that you can learn every day. Don't just become boxed in. Because I believe that God gives us this,
Amen.
You know, that he got so much knowledge for us.
That's right.
And I tell people, don't even put God in a box.
Right.
Absolutely. Let him be God.
He's big.
He's big now, and he can celebrate all these things that we're learning with you.
Absolutely.
And with the knowledge that you are sharing with us, that you've been with you've been with Gulf Power 29
years.
29 years, and now
been with
FPL.
I've been in the industry over 40 years. Totally.
Oh my goodness! See, but you know not that wire over there is live. Don't go that way. I mean,
well, I treat them all as live. I mean, if it doesn't matter, I tell people all the time, it's so important. Safety is really important. And we wanted to make sure that's part of what we did on Saturday.
Right.
Is we wanted to make sure that they understood the kids that were there and the adults, they could actually go and put the gloves on that our line folks, our line crews use. And we had our line crews there, so they were able to understand, oh, that's why they have to put those gloves on when they're working on these lines, and that's to stay safe. They saw the bucket trucks. So, you know, we had our crews they were able to demonstrate how the bucket trucks work and why they do what they do. So all of that to say, to try to demystify some of the things that folks sometimes don't know that goes on. And at the end of the day, to understand that all the things that we're doing, it's all around our customers. Everything centers around making sure that our customers are able to have what they need for their lives to be what they should be.
And do you see the emphasis he's putting on to make sure that the customer is satisfied?
Amen. That's important.
Do you see the emphasis? I mean, when he used that word, he said our customers. It's the impact on how you use the word, because that's coming from within, because without that, FPL can't do what they got to do.
Yeah, that's why we're here.
Hello.
Absolutely. At the end of the day.
That's what it's all about. So listen, we want to wrap things up like this. We're going to recap what we've talked about so that everybody will know. Number one, and I am so into taking care of the elderly. If you have a person at home, or if there's a person at home that may be ill,
right,
that has a caregiver, somebody that comes by. But these are things that I think that you need to educate people on, not if, but when.
Correct.
We have bad weather.
Yeah, what are you going to do with that relative or that person that has a medically essential device that requires electricity? Make sure you're thinking about that ahead of time and have a plan to make sure that person needs that device can still have that, even in the event of a transition or an evacuation.
Exactly.
You know, making sure you know where you're going to go, making sure your family has a plan, making sure that you're thoughtful about having the devices you need charged and ready to go, having enough food. They generally say 3 to 5 days or 7 days, but make sure you have all of those things ready. And if you use a portable generator, be sure to do so in accordance with the instructions.
Exactly.
Stay safe with that. Don't use it on an enclosed area, But those kind of things are so important to be ready ahead of time. And I say that one more time. Family planning is so important. If some people have to work during a storm,
that's right.
They have to be they're essential personnel. So if you have to be at work, what are you going to do about those at home? That's right. So think about that as well.
Absolutely. Ladies, we could not have asked for a better information network than what we had today, because everything that we've talked about, it just flows out. There's so many things that you possibly did not even think about that you need to think about. Hopefully you were taking notes, because again, now this show, you'll be able to see it again this afternoon at 6 o'clock. So we can go back for those who did not get the opportunity to watch this morning. So tell your friends that they can find out everything they need to know about hurricane preparedness and saving in your home
energy.
when it comes to FPL.
So important. Go to fpl.com/ways to save, the most comprehensive location to find information on how to save energy in your home, and making sure that you're doing things that, again, like we talked about, ceiling fans and other things, but things that can help save energy, because usage drives the bill price, the bill cost. And so we want to make sure people understand things that they can do to save, and we're here to help.
You said that even now, when you set your thermostat between 75 and 78, that's a 3%?
So it's a 3% savings for every degree above 75 that you save on your cooling costs, because again, that's what controls, this is in the summertime.
Of course.
That's what's controlling your air conditioning. And so that's your largest consumer, as a general rule, in your home during the summer months, is your air conditioning.
Unbelievable. I never thought that. But I mean, and think about this, if you're like me and a lot of people, you're not home during the day, so you got it set at night.
Sure, yeah. Yeah, be sure to adjust.
And that 3% for each additional after 75.
Right.
Come on, set that baby on 77, then you put that fan on.
When you're in the room.
When you're in the room.
When you're in the room.
Then that's going to circulate that air that's going in there.
Yeah,
I mean,
absolutely.
Great. JT, I cannot say thank you enough, because
Sonshine,
you share so much.
Well, thank you. It's been a pleasure to be here, and hopefully these things can be helpful for your viewers and for our customers. And we want to thank you for allowing us this opportunity. We really appreciate it. It's certainly important what you do. Thank you for what you do to help educate our community, and we're just grateful and blessed to be a part of it.
Thank you so much. And ladies and gentlemen, please, this is what I tell you every single day. put all of our resources together. That's nothing we can't do. Remember the things that you need to do. If you have a person at home that's elderly, that's not computer savvy, be that person that's going to log on and do it for them.
That's right. They need an advocate. That's
They
right.
got to have an advocate. Now think about that. If there's a person at home that's ill, that do not have those capabilities, then you are that advocate for them.
That's correct.
And these children that were out this weekend, they can pick up a phone and tell you what to do with any type of these devices.
Or a phone. Yeah, they can do that with a device, with a computer. Yeah, absolutely.
I mean,
they grew up with that.
Tell me about it. I mean, you see the babies now.
Oh yeah, absolutely. We have a 2-year-old grandson that's already there. Yeah,
and
absolutely.
Papa can show you some things.
That's right.
I mean, but these are the things I'm saying. These are ways that we can help. And I'm strong about the fact that for the people, our elderly, who are somewhat not savvy with those computers or all of those devices, but we are that person to help them. And please do not hesitate. If it's something that you're not sure of, there are ways you can find out.
That's right.
And I am a living witness. And they'll come to your house.
Oh, absolutely.
And it's not no 5 or 6 days.
That's right. We will be sure to do that.
They do that, and I know that for a fact. So I'm saying to you, if you've got questions, you've got issues, things you do not understand, or things that you would like to improve on, here's the opportunity. Go to the website. And find out how to do it. Watch this show again. Then when you go to our YouTube channel, it'll be there, and you can watch it again and again and find out all that information. JT, thank you so much. And I'm going to say to everybody that's viewing with us today, knowledge is power. Knowledge is power. Use it now that we have made it available to you. Take that and apply, even to learn how to save when it comes to your home. Don't just leave that AC running all the time. Oh, 74. You're not gonna get that 3%.
It'll be below, because it's below 75, right?
That's right. I'm here to tell you. But ladies and gentlemen, I tell you, it's been a great day. I've enjoyed myself here today. I cannot say enough to Florida Power for what they do, and thank you. Telling the things that you should already be aware of, but I believe that a refresher course is always good to wake up those things that are somewhat dormant in your mindset. These things will bring them back to the forefront of your mind. I've got to leave you, but I'll say as I do every single day, this is the spot where you can get all the information needed. Leaving you, never, ever, ever, ever lose your focus, my dear friends. Whatever you do, if you keep God first in that, I'll guarantee you this, you're going to be a total success. So until tomorrow, we're going to be talking with Dixon Elementary with the Lion King play. They're going to be here tomorrow. So until then, know that I love you with a perfect kind of love. Keep shining while I'm gone, and stay cool right here. Sunshine's Corner, being brought to you by Quint and Richie Studer.